Okay, guys, we need to review the passive voice as an indirect form, okay? This is lesson 4 on unit 1, okay? So it's important to review this context, okay? So when we have verbs such as give, ask, tell, offer, promise, send, show, teach, and pay, okay, we can work with direct or indirect objects, okay, and both ways are correct. So either the direct object or the indirect object can become the subject, the main subject, okay, in this kind of passive sentence, okay. For example, the normal or the original sentence or phrase that we have is, my grandmother gave me a watch for my birthday, okay. But this same sentence you can do it as a direct object or as an indirect object. For example, if we're going to use a direct object, the watch, okay, was given to me for my birthday, because it doesn't matter who gave the act, who gave the present, who gave it to you. What is important is the object, okay, the situation. Or in the indirect object, you can say that I was given the watch for my birthday. O sea, se me dio un reloj. ¿Quién? No sabemos. Pero lo importante es que se te dio un reloj por tu cumpleaños. ¿Ok? O simplemente, si lo vas a hacer de forma directa, el reloj se me dio por mi cumpleaños. Vamos a hacer el examen. We're going to make the test so we can have the practice of the passive voice as an indirect form. Okay? So first, let's make this last exercise, this lesson 4, remember. For example, how did you get a credit card, Carla? It's not about who gave to you the credit card. How did you get it, okay? So it wasn't hard, okay? I was sent an application they sent to me. I was sending an application, or I am sending. I was sending an application, okay? I'm sorry. I was sent an application, okay? Se me envió, es una forma de decir se me envió una aplicación. I was sent an application to my email account. I sent it back and got my card, okay? We need to work with the verb to be, okay, in any tense, but the main action has to be in the past participle, okay? Now let's make, and this is correct, okay? Now let's make the test, okay? These are only five exercises. So first of all, it says bill. Now we have a question because it ends in question mark. So how do we begin a question? With an auxiliary. Which auxiliary do we have here? Given, where, a newspaper, gave, and you. So we need to work with the verb to be, remember, okay? In this case is where, okay? Bill, where what? Were given a newspaper, okay? Okay, but we miss something. We miss the pronoun, okay? So we are only going to make a change. Were you given a newspaper? O sea, se te dio, ¿sí? Se te dio un periódico cuando abordaste el avión. Were you given? Remember that the question begins with an auxiliary. In the passive voice, we need to work with the verb to be, okay? So in this case, is where, because we are talking about you, okay? Remember that we have a comma, si no es seguido. Bill, coma. Entonces ya empieza la pregunta. Were you given? ¿Se te dio un periódico? Vamos a ver el siguiente. Did the restaurant charge us for the soft drinks? Let me check. Yes, coma, okay? We, okay, were charged. O sea, sí se nos cobró, ¿sí? O sea, sí, es como decir, sí fuimos cobrados, o sí se nos cobró los $5, $5 for 4 drinks, okay? Or for example, in this case, Sam, well, in this case, we're going to work with couldn't, okay? Couldn't be used a visa, okay? We can work with a visa, okay? We have to use with the auxiliary, okay? So Sam couldn't be used a visa until he proved he had enough money to travel, okay? So, well, it's important to understand the question, to understand the sentence, okay? So in this case, we need to work with the auxiliary couldn't, but remember that we need also to work with the verb to be. In this case, like we are using the auxiliary could, the verb to be has to be in the base form, okay? And of course, the main action has to be in past participle, okay? Now, on the next one, why was is another question. Why was what? Why was I asked my phone number when I registered for school? O sea, es una forma de preguntar, ¿por qué se me preguntó? ¿Por qué se me preguntó mi número telefónico? Okay. So we need to work with the verb in this case, okay. Ya tenemos aquí el verbo to be, pero acuérdate que el verbo principal va en pasado participio, okay. And finally, it's another question, okay, because it begins with a WH question and ends in a question mark, okay. So it says, why are what? Why are we being assigned so much homework tonight, Mrs. Pittman? ¿Por qué se nos asignó mucha tarea? ¿Sí? So you need to understand this statement. You need to remember that we need to work with the verb to be. The verb to be could be in past, could be in present, could be in past continuous, etc. Okay, but the main action has to be in the